Good afternoon, everyone. I am Casey Durango of Go Keto with Casey. I talk about the ketogenic diet, how I have lost 97.4 pounds since January of 2014, and I like to talk to other people about how they might be able to lose weight, improve their health, and regain control of their lives. Thank you very much for joining. This is a live broadcast. If you do not enjoy live broadcasts, you'll just want to wait for someone else's video or another video, an old school video as I call it. Today's topic is, it's about whether we kind of absorb into our own thinking the doubt or skepticism other people may have about either us as people or about our attempts again at losing weight. And I know a lot of you probably, if you're like me, have tried many times over many years to lose weight or feel better or whatever. And often it just didn't work. And often we were advised it didn't work because we just didn't want it badly enough. We didn't try hard enough. We don't have enough willpower. You care more about food than you do about being healthy and all that stuff. And really, to a large degree, the reason for the failure was often in the advice, not in the effort. We were told wrong information. But for whatever reason, many of us have tried and fallen short of what we had wanted. And therefore, many people around us, people who love us, people who like us, people who couldn't care less about us, maybe have begun to see, oh yeah, there's Casey, she's going to do that again. Yeah, we're not going to get too excited about that. She's lost 8 pounds before. Oh yeah, we're going to applaud her. Yay, good job, good effort. I'm so glad you're doing that. But they don't really believe that it's going to happen. And sometimes I think we can incorporate that into our own thinking. Even as we're being successful, even as we are losing weight amazingly on the ketogenic diet. For those of you who have experienced it, you know that, well, you don't know that. You may have had the same feelings that I did, like, what just happened? I just lost how much weight and I'm not hungry? I haven't been hungry? And I feel really good, and I'm eating really delicious, luscious things. This can't be real. So once you get over that kind of initial shock, you go along, and then maybe some people around you are still going, oh yes, we're so pleased that you'll be doing this, and they're still skeptical. And excuse me, I'm drinking my coffee. Thank you. My mind just got distracted. Squirrel. So many of us can incorporate that so that when things slow up on the weight loss, and it always does for everybody, it can slow up, it can bounce up, it can stay steady, it can stay really steady for a really long time. I think that sometimes the reason we get more flustered about a slow up or couple of 3 weeks of no weight loss, it's not even the weight so much sometimes. I think it's that little thing. And my friend, and we were just talking about this yesterday, she refers to it as the wolf at the door. It's the wolf at the door. It's that idea, yeah, I've maybe done this before, but it's always kind of backfired. It's always gone back up. I've fallen short of the mark, and everyone's going to see this around me again, if they're even paying attention. But it's that wolf at the door. So yeah, we can get frustrated that we're not losing weight as quickly as we were at the beginning or as quickly as other people do. And as we've said before, we're going to stop calling ourselves slow losers. We're normal losers. I'm a normal loser. So I'm going to stop calling myself a slow loser. But I think it's more than the weight. It's the looming self-doubt. You still have that shadow on your thought process that I knew it was too good to be true. I knew it was too good to be true. Now it's going to stop. I'm going to be the only person that it doesn't work for all the time. No. That's stinking thinking, y'all. We're going to get rid of the stinking thinking. And we're not going to tell ourselves worse things about ourselves than people who don't even like us will tell us. We're not going to tell ourselves things that people might say behind our back. Yeah, she did that once and she put back on the weight plus an extra 10. We're not doing that. We're not going to talk to ourselves worse than other people talk to us or about us. And also, you're going to realize that this is different. It's different. It's different. If you're sticking to the program, keep in mind, it's not, if you can get by with eating more carbs than somebody else, great. But that might slow up for you after a while. But if you are really working the program, working it, and it's usually pretty easy to do after 2 weeks, maybe after a week, after a month, you're a pro. You don't even want that. You don't even have the cravings. You don't think about it. You don't want it. Appetite is gone. If you're sticking to it, if you're not screwing around with carb ups, okay? Don't do that. Don't blame keto for what the carb up meal did. Don't blame keto for what the stupid supplements did. Don't blame keto for what the net carbs did. Stick with the program. If you're sticking with it, and the most successful people with whom I have come in contact have been the ones that just said, I'm doing it. I'm not deviating. I'm not playing. If you do it, it works. It's going to slow up. Your body's going to slow up. It's going to. You're going to lose inches, and then you're going to lose weight, and then you're going to, have whooshes and stuff. Make sure you're not overeating dietary fat. Make sure you are not overeating food. And make sure you are not telling yourself, they said it wouldn't work for me. Everyone around me thinks this is just another one of these things that I do, and I'll never be able to keep it up. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Don't talk to yourself more harshly than you would allow anyone to talk about a good friend of yours. Think about if you were sitting around a circle of friends in a room and somebody starts talking smack about your very good friend. Are you going to join in? Or are you going to say, whoa, 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 let's be a little bit more generous to our friend. She or he is having a tough time. Let's not judge, lest we be judged. Would you allow others to talk smack about your very good friend? No, but yet we will talk smack about ourselves inside our own heads. Let's not do that anymore. Let's treat ourselves at least as kindly as we treat others, at least. Okay, so that's my little sermon for today. It's a little bit about keto. Don't screw around with gimmicks and quacks and fake foods. Don't do that. I mean, if it works for you, great. If it gives you some kind of joy, great. If someone delivers a message that resonates with you, great. Just be careful where you're getting your information. And anyone who's trying to sell you something is just question the source. This is so simple. Keep your carbs below 20. Eat fatty sources of protein. Eat only when you're hungry. Stop when you're satiated. And be kind to yourself. All right. Hey, Marcia. Hey. I think I just mailed you something. Should be on its way, I believe. I believe you have some merchandise on its way to you. By the way, you don't need to buy anything to be successful at keto. There are no supplements you need, no powders, potions, magic foods, that you eat that will make you into ketosis. But if you do want to drink your coffee out of a Go Keto with Casey mug, it's a lot of fun, but you don't need one. Trish M, hi. Oh, you got your big mug and magnets. Yay, I'm pleased. Vicky G from Southeast Washington, good morning to you all. It's afternoon here. Wonderful. I'm so glad you're using the mug and the magnets. Oh, yes, and Helen, you've got 2 things on the way. They are actually going out in today's post. Susan Cosmos, you just, have you already gotten it? That's fantastic. That is fantastic. Thank you, guys. Edie Loker says the coffee is proven to taste better in one of Casey's mugs. No lie, she says. Thank you. Okay, enough about that. Peggy says, eat the simple things, whole foods. Yes, eat the food. Remember, it's not the presence of fat that will get you into ketosis. It's the absence of carbs. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. I can't say it enough. And you don't need to purchase one thing other than food, and you will eventually need to purchase much less of that to be successful at this. Ellie Hauser, thank you. Drink out of your mug every day. I'm glad you love it. Fran Fitness writes, hi all. Kim, hey Kim, haven't talked to you in a while. Morning. What's the best way to cook a ribeye so it's nice and tender? Let me tell you, we have 2 ways of doing it in our house, depending on just my mood and what the day's like. I'm going to tell you, this is going to sound weird. Well, maybe it won't sound weird. Maybe everyone does like this. And we cook a lot of ribeyes here. For one thing, we like them. For another thing, the rule is cyclists get smoothies and cyclists get ribeyes. And my husband's been riding more and more. So what we do is we buy a full ribeye at Costco, and my husband portions them, and then we leave a lot of the fat on, and then we put them in the food saver and put them in the freezer and bring them out. Here's how I do it. And it doesn't take any time. Assuming your steak is nicely thawed. I get a cast iron skillet. Love my cast iron. I get the oven. I set it on broil. I get it blazing hot. So I let it sit on broil for a while. I stick the skillet in there, even while it's coming up to temperature. When the skillet is like smoke coming off of it just about, I take my seasoned ribeye. Salt, pepper, garlic is what we like, both sides. I carefully pull out the rack in the oven because it's going to be hot. And I plop that ribeye on there. It immediately starts to sizzle. I don't put any oil, no grease, anything. Slide it back in. About 5 minutes, 6 minutes, depending on the thickness and everything else. When it's nice and bubbly on the top and little bits are beginning to turn brown to the level you like it, that's it. Carefully pull it out. It's going to be screaming hot. Put it on the cooktop. Loosely kind of place a lid on top of it so the juices can reabsorb. Sometimes I put a pat of butter in it if I want. It just depends. That's it. That's one way we do it. The other way is we have a big green egg. And you get the charcoal going. And it's, not briquettes, but the hardwood charcoal. Get that going to about 600 degrees in the big green egg. Carefully lift it up. Boom, boom, burp it. Woof. Throw the steak on. Just direct under the fire. 1.5 minutes. And I set a timer. I just stand out there. I look around. I'll talk to the birds. 1.5 minutes. Burp it. Open it. Flip it over. Close it. 1.5 minutes. Turn it. And then you close everything off. Put the lid on, the top of the big green egg, and close up the vent. 1 minute. And take it off. Perfectly done. Thank you for the super chat, Diane. Thank you so much. And Kim, super chat, I babysit my 17-year-old grandson. Sometimes miss you. Oh, well, I'm so glad that you are doing that. What a great thing that you're able to spend time with your grandson. And what a great thing for your grandson that he's able to spend time with you. Edie Loker writes, it's truly a crime to cook a ribeye beyond medium rare. In my opinion, I agree. I like mine rare, very rare. And that cooks it perfectly rare, which is the way we like it. And keep in mind, since we portion our ribeyes ourselves, I like mine pretty thick. So that's the way my husband cuts them for me. Hey, Kirby! Kirby Keto. Hope everything's good. Look at all those hearts. Couldn't fit in some more hearts? Heather Silva. Hi, Casey. I tried eating peanuts again. I have finally learned my lesson. They're not on page 4 for a reason. Never again. They are my kryptonite. Isn't it funny how we all have those foods? And, you know, Heather, sometimes they are on page 4 and they're still our kryptonite. I have shared. Mashed cauliflower, I have a weakness. I have to really put forth fuerza de voluntad, which means strength of will to not eat delicious mashed cauliflower. Deborah Dunwell, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I appreciate that. Almonds, and that is, Nancy Hansen writes, almonds are mine, and they are not on page 4 as well. Those are mostly because, for one thing, a serving portion that would be appropriate carb, calorie, and everything else to try to just make this work is so small. I mean, we're talking probably about 10 or 11 almonds, maybe. And Dr. Westman advises it's just one of those foods he's seen over the years that people it's just one of those very few keto foods that people can just easily overeat. Nuts can just be overeaten. Just the same way we can easily overeat, you know, our carby foods. You know, you can eat an entire giant wheelbarrow of popcorn at the theater. You can eat an entire sleeve of Oreos or a can of Pringles. You know, a basket of bread at a restaurant. Just keep bringing the yeast rolls out. But nuts are one of the things that are easily overeaten. Try to do that with a bowl of hard-boiled eggs. It's not easy to do. Wildman, any tips for cooking ribeye in a skillet? Now, are you saying that because you do not like my method for cooking in a skillet in the oven under the broiler? I would say, well, however you're doing it, get the whatever you're cooking on very, 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 very hot. Throw the ribeye on, let it cook for a few minutes, flip it if you need to, and bring it off the fire. Kirby Keto, love this video, so much wisdom. Thank you very much. But you think I'm wise because you are biased. She's biased. And I'm biased towards her. And I don't care who knows it. Ellie Hauser, nuts are addicting to me. Same thing. I don't eat them. You can't see them, but we have a cookie jar, glass, you know, Anchor Hawking glass thing with a glass lid full of almonds. My husband eats a handful a day, and I use them. I grind them up and make his almond cookies. I just have to stay away from them. He can tolerate them, and he can stop. I don't trust myself. Okay, so now, Marcia, I don't have a cast iron skillet and have had no success the times I've tried to keep one. Do they tend to rust out for you? You know, you have to season them. The ones we have, at least a couple of them, I know they were in my house before I was born. I know that my mother had them, and you know, shoot, I'm 59 years old, so I'm doing that. Susan Cosmos, 10 kids. Home daycare busy. Have a blessed day, you all. Oh, man, Susan, thank you for the $10 super chat. Are you caring for 10 children? Good Lord. Doing the Lord's work, child. God love you. Cindy Shields, never use dish soap on your cast iron skillet. Just hot water, and that's it. It sounds, some people say, well, that can't be right. No, that's absolutely right. I'll be really honest with you. I don't even use hot water sometimes. We'll have days in a row. I just keep it on the skillet, and we got a nice season on there. Oof, it's good. No, Kay Cavazos, no nuts, and I have a pecan tree in my yard. That is willpower. Okay, Raymond Shook, Caesar salad without croutons is great for keto. Is that an answer, a statement? It's true. I had someone I spoke with over this weekend, and he's just starting, and he sent me some of the food he ate, and everything looked good, except I warned him about the Caesar salad dressing. We all know about prepared salad dressings, don't we? I think we mostly do. Usually, you know, ranch, although making homemade ranch is so simple. I tend to do that when we use ranch. But really watch for those salad dressings. Even the ones that are creamy and fatty and all that stuff, the manufacturers very often still tend to slip sugar in there. Yeah, Peggy, I love my cast iron, use it daily. We have 2 on the cooktop right now, and I've got 2 more hanging. We've got like 4 sizes, plus a flat grill that I use to make the pancakes on. And on the flip side of that is a grill. I don't use that too much for cooking steaks or something, because that with the ridges is a pill to clean. Edie Loker is helping Yolanda. Snacks, fried pork rinds with salsa and sour cream, delish. And let me tell you what, if the idea of pork rinds kind of skeeves you out, ooh, it tastes like pig. My experience, to my taste buds, anytime I use the pork rinds with anything like Edie just recommended, any kind of dip or salsa, or, you know, put pimento cheese on them, whatever, you don't taste the porkiness anymore. And if you use pork rinds, grind them up, and use them in place of breadcrumbs, I promise they don't taste porky. It's some component, I guess. Once you start cracking them open, all the pork flies out. Now, okay, Cynthia Shields, right, eggplant. I found low-carb recipes, but it's not on the food list. Keep in mind, the food list can't include everything. It's general foods. Essentially, almost any animal product is A-okay. As far as vegetables, go to the USDA food database and check yourself, or look up a trusted source for carb counts, and then just measure, make sure you're not overeating those vegetables. I'm going to guess that it's okay. I've never checked. Eggplant is not in our rotation in our house. Linda Flanagan, no noticing. I can't answer that. Does anybody know why Linda may not be getting notifications? I think you click on the subscribe button, you subscribe, then there's a little bell next to the subscribe button, and then you go one step further, click on the bell, and ask for push notifications. I think that's it. Yeah, Linda Sharon writes, using pork rinds as breading tastes just like traditional breading. It does, and it's a good binder. If you want to make old-fashioned meatloaf, but you're not going to put breadcrumbs in there or chunks of bread, use pork rinds, and it stretches things. Claire Thomas, so happy, just woke up, Australia, and caught your live chat. Hey, Claire, has it been a minute since we have chatted? I think it has been. Kay Cavazos writes, pork rinds and dill pickles. Hadn't done that. Wendy writes, only above the ground veggies? For the most part, yes. Here's the reason. It's not a gimmick. Vegetables, not grains. Remember, corn is not a vegetable. It's not even a grain. It's a grass, okay? But I digress. Veggies that grow below the ground, as a rule, their job, the reason they're below the ground, is to store starch, which equals sugar, to provide nutrients, to provide the food for the greens that grow above the ground. Okay? So carrots, beets, potatoes of any type. Help me out here, guys. Most foods, there can be exceptions to any rule, as we know. Most vegetables that grow above the ground are okay. They are what they are. You're not eating the green bean greens, you're eating the green beans. You're not eating the cabbage greens, they are the greens. You're eating the cabbage. Now, if some people like to eat the greens from the broccoli, the outer leaves, or the outer leaves of the cabbage, which is cool. But for the most part, that's really just a part of the plant. I could My son could explain the difference with those cruciferous vegetables. By the way, just eat the cruciferous vegetables. Don't take a pill or powder. Just eat the vegetables. Just saying. Onions are sketchy. They're higher in sugar. And you can taste that when you saute them. They taste a little bit sweet. And your tongue will tell you. No peas. Keep in mind, peas are, they're an exception. Peas are like beans. If you think about it, peas, beans, peanuts, which are legumes, not nuts, they grow inside something else, don't they? They all grow inside pods. There's not a hard and fast rule, so don't try to make one because there isn't one. We all want an answer to a situation, but at some point we have to do a little research and do a little thinking and just accept that there are exceptions to rules. Vicki Andrews, we eat scallions not to excess. My husband makes them in huevos con aliños, which I love. We have those on Sunday mornings, and that is a meal I'll often eat even if I'm not hungry. I just like having my Sunday morning breakfast with my lovely mate, and he makes huevos con aliños. And that's what we do. And on Saturdays, I make pancakes with sausage patties for him, and I usually don't eat any of them. Yes, peas are legumes, which are not nuts, and they're not seeds, and they're not vegetables. They're legumes. Yeah, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder is 7 grams. I will advise you, a tablespoon of garlic is a whole lot of garlic. So when we use garlic, we sprinkle it on our ribeye. And then, of course, in the cooking process, a lot of it comes off. So I don't come anywhere. Sandy Lamontagne writes, use common sense. I love that, use common sense. So much of life. Beatriz Cardona. Beatriz, ¿de dónde estás? So much of life really comes down to using your common sense and common courtesy. You might know this about me. I like to keep things simple, except for my spreadsheets, which are tremendously complicated. So I balance out my universe with that. The rest of my life, I keep pretty simple. Common decency, common courtesy, and do the right thing. I don't care if you're religious and what religion you follow. That's pretty much the tenet of most every faith that of which I'm aware. We all have much more in common than we have difference. Okay, Sammy Robinson. Hey, Sammy, you sweet thing. When do you use 1 tablespoon? It's an whole recipe divided by servings. Yes. Okay, Wendy writes, keto over 40, after 40 and beyond had a big controversy over garlic carbs yesterday. I will share with you here. I have closed off the Keto After 40 and Beyond group to new members. It became like the Wild West out there. And there's been a lot of attrition. About 300 members have left in the last week, maybe. And I don't wish that they would leave. But if they, if it's not a good fit for them, that's the best thing. And that's okay. People can get very heated about this, about just about everything. But again, a little common sense. And for better or for worse, I will shut off comments on posts that get off the rails, because they get off the rails fast. I didn't see the one about garlic. So there's just that. Okay. I'm not sure. Okay, Eugenia apparently has had an issue, and I'm glad you guys are answering her. And thank you very much for that. It's one reason I really like this, is that you guys help each other. Diane Pohl, a patron, thank you, writes, the cuckoo went off at the right time. Amaze balls. The cuckoo and I have a love-hate relationship. I love it. It hates me. It's taunting me. Kelly Lassen, good afternoon, Casey. Glad I made the live chat. I am too. Okay, so Eugenia must have asked about going up. If anyone has, and Edie writes, Eugenia, let your body recalibrate. You'll go up and down. Buckle up and enjoy the ride. You will find it is not a straight line. Thank you. Buckle up and enjoy the ride. Keep at it. Don't screw around with fake foods. Don't screw around with fake doctors. Don't screw around with adding fat. Don't screw around with fake recipes to try to squeeze keto into something that it's simply not. Okay? Low carb tortillas, forget about it. It's a gimmick. Keep in mind that keto and low carb is not regulated. So anybody can say that they're low carb. Haagen-Dazs could come out and say that they are low carb compared to something, you know. So be careful. Stick with it. It does work. And if you want to go to my blog and look at my my next goal tab, which shows weight loss, I'm telling you, it has been, talk about a wild ride over the last month. It has been wacko. I don't know. I ask myself the questions I ask other people. I'm in ketosis. This morning I was 3.6 millimolars per liter by blood measure, and my glucose was 88. I know I'm not overeating carbs. I know I'm not overeating dietary fat. I simply don't do that. And I don't think I'm overeating food. Something's going on with my body. Could be the summer, could be the heat. We had a group video chat last night. And Margie, I don't think Margie's on right now. She says she really just thinks it's the heat. It's the summer. It's hot here. It's not as bad today, but it's been hot, 90s, upper 90s, heat index 105 and all that. Although I'm in climate controlled for the most part, who knows? Alignment of the stars. Okay. Linda Sharon, I've eaten almost no carbs for about a week. I really don't eat too many carbs. I go a long time between veggies. Sometimes. Some days not. But most of the time I do. Nancy Hansen, simple, simple, simple. Keep it simple. Miss Joyce Fox, etc. I like that. 1 pound lower than what driver's license says. Yeah. Pam Kirk, patron. Good job. Any weight loss is weight loss. I want you guys to practice this. I want you to remove the word only, the words only, and just, and still. From your thinking, do what you want, but I want you to stop thinking this up. I've only lost 20 pounds since January. Somebody posted that. 20 pounds is great. 20 pounds since January? It's great. 6 pounds a month. That's great. No, 3 pounds a month. That's great. That's normal weight loss. Don't say, when someone says to you, wow, have you lost weight? You look really great. Try to refrain from saying, well, thanks, but I still have a long way to go. Doesn't matter. Don't do that. Don't flip this into to continue to talk to ourselves the way we've talked to ourselves since we're 14 years old. Thank you. I feel great is the perfect response, because I hope you do feel great. And that's really what's important. One of these days, I'm going to do a video, and I'm just going to read to you messages that I get from people. And the ones that take the time to write me, and there are a lot, sometimes it's about the weight, but it's almost incidental. People will write and say how they've gotten off 4 medications, how they are off their walker, how they have not had a depressive episode in 6 months, how they no longer need to take a nap in the middle of the afternoon, how for the first time they can look at themselves in the mirror without crying. I'm going to read to you these messages. Those are the reasons I do this. And they should be the reasons you do it for yourself. And if you're helping other people, that should be the reason you're doing it. Weight loss is dandy if you need to lose weight. Fat loss is very beneficial. But getting off of insulin, metformin, Prilosec, anti-anxiety medications, antidepressant medications, cutting your blood pressure medication in half. Don't even get me started on statins, okay, because that's a whole other issue. And then when you realize, when you get off of all these things, all of which have their own side effects that impact other parts of your world, that's the goal here. I am going to give a plug for Heal Clinics, Dr. Eric Westman's initiative to branch out from where he is at Duke and open clinics where type 2 diabetes and obesity is treated with nutrition, not a pill, not a script, not an injection, food. If you are on medications, you will be medically supervised. So I'm going to give a plug for that. Okay, I'll put a link to it. And I'm going to call out, if any of you are interested in finding out about that, let me know. If any of you are medical providers, nurse practitioners, physician's assistants who would like to be involved, contact me directly. Email me at casey@caseydurango.com and put in the subject line, just put in Westman, so that I get a lot of emails, so that I can quickly flag those, okay? If you want to find out information about how to be seen by Dr. Eric Westman, let me know. If you want to get in touch with him as a medical provider, let me know. It's a very good thing. Full disclosure, my husband and I are investors, but we have been since before there was a Go Keto with Casey, before Eric Westman knew who I was. We heard about it. It's a startup. We decided to put our money where our health is. So, alrighty. I'm looking at an exchange here. I'm going to ignore it. I'm going to ignore it. But I've seen the exchange a couple of times. I've seen the post a couple of times. And I hope that no one is here as a person trying to drum up business. I'm going to ignore it. I'm going to assume positive intent. All right, I'm going to start to wrap this up. Yes, the cuckoo did go off the right time, and I'm actually a little over time. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for the super chats. And keep in mind that I'm switching my Friday morning live things to patron only. But I'm still doing Saturday morning Facebook Live at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And, of course, here, Mondays at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Oh, Helen, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Thank you for becoming a patron. Beatriz Cardona, if you answered me before, I'm sorry if I missed it. ¿De dónde estás? My husband in Colombia has many, many family members named Beatriz. All right, guys, keep it in the road. Keep your carbs under 20. Eat fatty sources of protein. Eat only when you're hungry. Stop when you're satiated. Be kind to yourself. Don't let anyone else be unkind to you. Stand firm. And don't incorporate the negative skepticism that others around us might have about what we're doing or about us. Don't do that. Don't absorb that. Don't own it. There's no room for it. We've done that to ourselves long enough. We have talked ourselves down either out loud in front of other people or in our own brains long enough. I'm done with it. I've kicked it to the curb. I mean, I still have doubts about things. You know, we all have insecurities. But I try to nip it in the bud. All right, guys. Thank you so very, very, very much. Denise Martinez, I love you right back, sister. I love you right back. And, oh, by the way, Ms. Martinez shared with us last night on the group chat, her husband, I hope you don't mind me sharing this, Denise, was losing weight so much faster than she. And he even sent a picture, texted it to her. So look how much more I've lost. I've lost whatever it was. I've lost another 6 pounds. What? Denise was like, I'm so happy for you. And then she looks at the picture and she texts him back, says, is the scale on the carpet in the bathroom? Yes, it is. Get it off the carpet and put it on the tile. Like, you know, he lost like 1.5 pounds. So don't blame your spouse's quick weight loss for what the carpet did. All right, guys? I really appreciate it. Thank you for indulging me. And Trisha M., I will see you Saturday, God willing, and the creek don't rise, as we say down here in the South, although it's hot and it's dry. Doesn't look like the creek's rising anytime soon. Ciao. Talk to you later.